Warning not to do this on Mounjaro weight loss. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Freddie. I'll link down below his treats that he's getting for today's episode. If we've not met, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've been on Mounjaro for the last year, and I'm on 15 milligrams currently. Well, there's nowhere else for me to go. I'm currently, and will be on 15 milligrams of Mounjaro, and I've lost 79 pounds. I'm down 5 pant sizes, and my life has truly changed from Mounjaro weight loss. Let's go ahead and dive in. I am not a medical professional, simply my experience, strength, and hope. Do not take this as medical advice. Always talk to your own healthcare provider. Let's dive in to a big warning that I have been seeing pop up in my free encouragement group. I have down in the description link below the link to my Mounjaro, and all are welcome at that table. Zepbound weight loss, Wegovy weight loss. If you're on semaglutide or tirzepatide weight loss, in my free group, I keep seeing this and it scares me. And so I was like, I gotta do a video on it because I think it's important to start changing the conversation in the GLP-1 community. If you're taking GLP-1s, of average weekly weight loss. This is what I'm seeing, and it's a big warning because I think it can lead to bigger problems down the pike if it's not nipped in the bud earlier. And certainly I have been in the mix with this. And I want to help. And that's my full goal of helping everybody is Mr. Freddie. I know he just wants to dig his nose. He's like, I'm going to find the rest of that treat. The biggest thing of talking about losing 1 to 2 pounds per week. People thinking that it's normal to lose. I only lost 1 pound this week. Have you said that comment before? I certainly have. Not, I don't think on camera, but to my husband, to the Count, my amazing hot husband, I have said that. Oh, I only lost 1 pound this week. And I want to help, and I'll use my I statements because, again, this is not medical advice, but it's pattern recognition. That's one of my giftings, is that having now encouraged thousands and thousands and thousands of people in my encouragement group, and as we encourage each other, not just me encouraging, but y'all encouraging me back, is that this conversation or this narrative of losing more than 1 to 2 pounds per week, in my opinion, take it or leave it, is dangerous. And that I see it in my group, and I've seen myself say it previously, and now knowing and being on the other side of having lost 79 pounds so far on my 125 pound weight loss journey, that losing more than that per week, my healthcare provider is not encouraging me. I work with Join Fridays. They're encouraging me to stay on a healthy cadence and rhythm with my weight loss. And going beyond that, from my research, can lead to pancreatitis, which Mounjaro tells us in side effects, the serious side effects for Mounjaro and for Zepbound too, pancreatitis, appendicitis, can lead to some gnarly things, right? And also just loose skin. Like the vanity part comes out for me of like the loose skin component. Of losing weight too quickly, for me, that scares me. And so for me, I have had, and you'll go back over, I have over 140 plus videos on my Mounjaro weight loss journey and Zepbound weight loss journey of, I lost 5 pounds this week or things like that. And for me, typically, because I'm being honest and authentic, like I'm sharing y'all on the internet, my journey is that I usually don't lose. I'll have a weight stall for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, and then like a 5 pound weight loss. And so that's typically my journey. Or I'll lose like 0.2 pounds 1 week, 0.3 pounds 1 week, and then like 5 pounds. But that 5 pounds really wasn't 5 pounds in that week. It was over the course of, if I look back at my tracking chart, if I look back at that, over the course of that, it certainly is, I don't know why my camera is doing that. It's driving me nuts. Sorry, friends. We have been trying to work so hard, and you guys know that we've been, I've been at the hospital for issues with a family member. So like my audio was messed up one week, and so I'm trying here, friends. Bear with me. But the point that I'm trying to make and the content that I'm trying to get out for you guys, and let me go back over to my notes, is that gastrointestinal, the common side effects for Mounjaro for me is what usually leads to those like 5 pound weight loss. Because we know that the common side effects from Mounjaro are gastrointestinal: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. If I'm having diarrhea 1 week, which, by the way, I'll link down below all of my solutions for these. I have a ton of articles on countessofshopping.com, my free resource for you as a free gift to hopefully help continue to encourage. That's my primary motivation, is to be of an encouraging source for you here. But with the gastrointestinal side effects, that's usually where I lose more of the weight. If I'm having nausea 1 week, like this past week, I was really nauseous. And so therefore I had a big weight loss. I dropped over 2 pounds this week, And that was because I was really nauseous. And so that's one of the things that I want to share with you is if you're having these gastrointestinal side effect issues or these other side effect issues, I'm going to move this real fast. We're just going to keep it real here. There we go. It's still not doing anything. Okay, that is not. One day we'll get it. Today is not the day. Good golly. Just trying to get the content out for the people. We're going to keep going even though that bar is down below. Hopefully it's not showing up on your screen, but it's showing for mine. What do you think, Mr. Freddy? He's like, I've had gastrointestinal issues because I haven't walked him his 2 miles today. So the main things of changing this conversation and the warning in which I want to give you is if you're losing 1 to 2 pounds per week, yay! But I don't think, in my humble opinion, for me, using my I statements, my goal is not to lose 5 pounds per week. That is dangerous for me. I feel like my body cannot handle that every single week, or if that's the goal, I feel like that's a completely unrealistic, unsustainable goal. And quite frankly, if you go to Eli Lilly's literature for Mounjaro and Zepbound, that is not the intention. The intention with clinical trials is 25 to 26%, and I'm forgetting the period in which that was, of your body weight. So like keeping that in mind too. And my goal to get to 125 pounds for full authenticity is beyond that amount in which the clinical trials are. I'm going to do that because what I'm doing and what I really want to encourage you to do too is lifestyle changes, making permanent lifestyle changes. Because that's what's going to keep this ball rolling. Because at some point you're going to be like me and be at 15 milligrams, or maybe you won't. In fact, we have tons of people in my free Mounjaro weight loss encouragement group and Zepbound encouragement group, that link is in the description, who have stayed on 2.5 milligrams Mounjaro, 2.5 milligrams Zepbound, and have not titrated up. And they've been doing that for months and months and months. We have several people who've been doing it for over a year, and they're still in the starting dose. So you don't have to titrate up to continue on a weight loss journey or for Mounjaro for type 2 diabetics. So I'm like trying to scoot down so I'm in the frame here because I want to get this video done because I got to go back to doing like more family stuff. But it was important for me to share this video. I'm super passionate about it as I crouch down because of making those lifestyle changes, which for me are a healthful diet and more physical activity, which is why, because I haven't walked this guy his 2 miles, like it's part of just what I do. No ifs, ands, or buts. It was snowing the other day. It was raining the other day. There was worms. I'm deadly afraid of worms. I hate them. They terrify me. There's so many worms out because of the rain. And I still walked Mr. Freddy for 2 miles. Plus, I'm not going to let him down. Which is why if you have a pet, or you can go to your local animal shelter, which I love doing. They know me. They have been approved to go walk dogs there for extra exercise. So if you're looking for ways to get in physical activity and you don't like working out, go find things that you do like to do that makes it enjoyable. So you'll do this long term to make it a permanent lifestyle change. And also having dietary changes too. That's so important of however you deem that to be. Now, I have linked down below meal plan options for you. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, can I just like, I've tried so hard. We literally the count worked for over an hour on my audio to fix it. And now the video is so messed up. I feel like it's getting worse as the video goes on. Like, I feel like it's elevator down. We're going to keep going. I don't have time to re-record this video, and we're just going to keep going with me. Here, I'm going to lay on my stomach. You guys can see I'm in my joggers. You guys can see my bottom. There, I'm just going to lay in my joggers. We're going to plank together. We're planking. You guys, I always wear my joggers when I do episodes. So we're just going to keep going like this. It's the most awkward video I think we've ever done, but that's okay. So going back over to the warning for our Mounjaro weight loss and changing the conversation is making sure that you are focused in on 1 to 2 pounds per week would be my encouragement. Feel free to take or leave that and talk to your own healthcare provider on that. For me, that's what my healthcare provider encouraged me to keep doing. And some weeks I'm not going to hit that. And when I do have these big numbers, like if you go back to my first video, I said, I've lost over, oh, there, it fixed itself. Why did it do that? That was the weirdest thing. Oh my God, this has been the most bizarre video. Is there a ghost? In Jesus' name, I rebuke you. What is going on? What's in the House of Commons? If you go back to my first video, I talk about how I lost 11 pounds the first week. Do you know that that was gastrointestinal issue problems? Like that for me was gastrointestinal issue problems. So just FYI, like that's, you can't compare apples to apples with that. Like, and if you're having gastrointestinal issues, which is why I did that video of changing the time I did my shot, I actually do welcome gastrointestinal issues because I'll lose usually 1 to 2 pounds that week. because of nausea or diarrhea, or I haven't vomited. And if you have a constipation, I do have a link listed down below. Are you getting enough fiber in? And that's one of the other lifestyle changes I want to encourage you to look at for yourself and talk to a dietitian. I've got my GLP-1 dietitian link down below. Talk to a dietitian to make those changes with protein and fiber. So fiber is something I'm reading more and more and more about that I had not yet done. And I'm a year into this journey, friends. It's taking me this long to unravel so much unhealthy food habits, and I'm still continuing to unravel. In fact, I'm going to talk to my spiritual advisor and my therapist here in about an hour. Got so much to do today. To talk about some of this food stuff, because as I lose more weight, I realize how unhealthy my food relationship was, and that I could not do this by myself, and there was additional healing that was needed and is needed. And so maybe for you, that's something you need to look at. Was there trauma for you? There was a reason why, and is a reason why I was over 125 pounds overweight. That was not because I just love food, although I do love food. I'm a big foodie. That's not the only reason. There was some trauma underneath there that needed to be looked at with a professional that I could not handle on my own. I've tried to handle it, and clearly 125 pounds overweight was not, there was a reason, multiple, that have had to be healed along this journey. And many of you have asked me, how are you changing your mindset? How are you doing that, with a lot of therapy included? I haven't really wanted to go too much into detail with that, but there's a lot, like a lot, that's had to be unpacked. And I know for me, when I see somebody who's 100 pounds overweight, usually there's a commonality thread of something that's happened to a lot of us, and that links us together, of that we just, not that we just don't like, it's not only that we are foodies. He would agree. It's riveting content, apparently. He's like, now that you've got your video fixed, I'm gonna flip over. This is like the weirdest video, by the way. Hopefully it's giving you guys some value. Put down below in the comments you're giving me value if it is. I'm trying, my friends. We are trying today. Today's been one of those days. I am trying. So going back over to what's changing my thoughts, I have recently, and I always like to talk to you guys about what I'm doing to help me. A couple of changes I've made literally this week and over the past month. And I'm going to do another episode on how I've lost this week 2 pounds. What were some of the tweaks and changes that I did that will hopefully provide you some value? So make sure you click that subscribe and like button so you can see that upcoming video. YouTube will show you more of my stuff if you hit like, if you engage with it. I have gotten an Audible subscription. I'll link down below a discount code. Audible's been generous with the Countess of Shopping community. You guys know that I've worked with, I used to be on the Amazon Live team and a bunch of things with Amazon. So I've got a discount code for you for Audible. And I started listening to Jim Rohn, which I used to listen to when I was growing my multi-million-dollar dog walking business before I sold it. I used to listen to Jim Rohn when I drove a cheap car. I love that car too. I was so unhealthy. I would be smoking cigarettes all throughout Northern Virginia. I was so unhealthy. But I loved walking animals, and I loved my dog walking business, and I loved learning while I was driving to all these clients' houses. And then we had a large team, and we had hundreds of people in which we employed, but I digress. That's a story for another day. The book that I'm listening to is The Ultimate Library by Jim Rohn. That's who I'm listening to right now on Audible, that I am loving. It's a 9-hour segment, so when I'm walking the dog, I can listen to it. I'm an hour in, almost an hour in. And I found it really healthy because he was saying in one of his things was not like you've got to make all these lifestyle changes and stuff. It's you got to change your philosophy on life. And I was like, I love that. I love reframing it that way, of changing your philosophy. And he's like, why not just start with an apple a day? Keeps the doctor away. And whatever your apple is, I know there's so many diet culture, diet things, which I have been a part of. I've been on YouTube for the last 6 years. And if you see my videos from years ago, you can see I'm very much a part of diet culture, but trying to move into more of, and am in a healthful eating space, a little bit more balanced, although I still do eat low carb because that works best for me and for my body, but I digress. The apple of whatever you choose it to be a day. And he says, take a walk around the block. And as I was walking Mr. Freddie, he was like, those are 2 easy things that you can do every day, but you got to do them every day. So what is your apple? And what is, for me, walking? He was like, it's the easiest thing. And as I'm stepping through worms outside, and I'm going through the snow, and I'm going through the rain, and I'm terrified of worms, but I'm walking and I'm moving my body. Those were some of the things this week that helped move the needle. Focusing on fiber, focusing on protein, and movement. Now, I also switched, and I'm gonna go back to Jim Rohn in a minute, but if you guys didn't see my other video about my new daily vitamin, I'll link it down on the description link below. Made a big difference for me because it includes prebiotics and probiotics in there. Having at nighttime also my magnesium. This is different than the other videos. If you saw my video from a year ago, it's the old magnesium I used. That only had 1 magnesium in it. This has 7. And if you do, they have like, I'll link down below a discount code. If you do those, it's actually cheaper than the other one that I was linking to, or almost a very similar price equivalent. These, and then the other big third thing was water focus. Truly focusing in out, am I hungry, or do I just, am I needing something to hold? And for me, usually I'm not hungry at all. It's just that breaking that hunger thing of grabbing for food. So I grabbed my water bottle instead. I will link down below my Stanleys that I love, and then also Simple Modern. I like these actually better than Stanleys because you don't have to worry about cleaning the top. Like on Stanleys, you have to move that piece where the straw goes, and I hate that. It breaks my nails, and she can't do that. So those this week, Jim Rohn also talked in it about, and this is one of the other things I love. And again, I think the Audible subscription I'm paying is like $15 a month for like all of these different things. But this one's 9 hours. I'm going to get a lot. I'm very excited to go on my walks because I've been listening to this. He also talked in the Ultimate Jim Rohn Library about taking responsibility for all of your choices. And that one is still a tough pill for me to swallow, that I'm like, I accept responsibility for all of my choices. The 125 pounds overweight is my responsibility. It's not anybody else's. Despite what has previously happened, in this moment, this breath, I have to take 100% accountability and 100% responsibility. And so as I've been walking Mr. Freddy this past week, it's led me to, like, I'm gonna cry right now, I'm getting emotional. Of what fingers have I been pointing out? And I need to be pointing them all in. And that's tough. Like, that's clearly this is tough. This is why I'm going to go talk to a therapist. It's because there's stuff to unpack with that. And then I do think that accepting that responsibility for some things is clearly emotional. I hate getting emotional on camera, but I want to not stop this video because I don't have time to re-record it. So I'm just going to keep this in here even though I'm very uncomfortable. Whew, let's get it together. Whew. Accepting 100% responsibility for all of the weight that I've gained. I don't know why it's doing this with my camera, by the way. It's like the little bar is coming back. I don't know if it's coming back on your end, but basically what I'm trying to say is the whole point of this video was the warning of going back to, it's healthy to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. For me, it's scarier now at this point to drop a huge dramatic, like I have no aspirations to lose that 11 pounds I lost in my first week. It was because I was majorly bloated. I had majorly binged out beforehand. And so there was a lot to expel from my body because I majorly binged before I started taking Mounjaro. And that's not healthy or consistent. And if you're seeing people on the internet or even in my free group talking about how they're losing a lot of weight, I always say I have a lot of weight to lose, which is why I'm losing a lot of weight, right? If you have 50 pounds to lose versus my 125 pounds to lose, that is going to be different numbers. So please, please, please do not compare your journey to anybody else's. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're doing everything you possibly can, that you're taking that responsibility for everything you possibly can, that is all you can do. And for me, my daily prayer is like, thy will, not mine, be done. And so, Lord, let me be but a vessel. Guide me on this. What do I need to do for my physical activity, my diet? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to educate myself on? What science do I need to be learning? Because there's a lot of science and science-based, not woo-woo, but science-based, data-based stuff. That has been really, really helpful for me too. So Mr. Freddy and I are very grateful for you guys, and I'm very appreciative for you guys. And I apologize for the wackiness of this video with that bar. That is so weird. I'm going to text the account right now. Like, why is it like that? I don't know. And thank you for your grace and also your encouragement. And I give that right back. Now, we do a little thing here at the Countess of Shopping where you put emoji down below. That lets me know, A, that you've made it this far in the video. Clearly, if you've made it this far in the video, that means you must like my content. And so I want to get to know you better because I care. There's thousands of you. There's one of me. But by commenting, I will know your user handle here on YouTube and I'll get to know you better. So today's emoji is an apple. You can put an apple down below from Mr. Jim Rohn. And then B, make sure you get my free Mounjaro weight loss success checklist and join the group. If you have not been approved to be in the group, that means you didn't answer all the questions. Usually that's why. Or your account is like under 5 years old, which usually are spammers. I protect that group like a lion against spam, unkind comments. It is a safe space for people who are trying to lose weight. For me, like that is my safe space. So if you see anything in there that is unkind or the spam or whatever, let me know, but there shouldn't be because I'm really anal about keeping that group right and tight. So the bar keeps getting bigger. We'll see if it drops back down. Make sure you get the free resources down below. I hope today's conversation helped encourage you. For me, it definitely did. And now I clearly have more stuff to talk to my spiritual advisor about later on today as well. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping and my co-host, Mr. Freddie. Count our blessings because life is delicious. We'll see you next time. Bye, friends.